There's an egg in your fridge right now, and it was never going to become anything. No embryo, no heartbeat, no chick curled up waiting in the dark. That's not what the one on your plate is, and almost everyone has it backwards. You'll fry it tomorrow without a second thought, the same egg you've eaten every morning of your life. So here's the question hiding in that pan. It's not that the other eggs taste worse. It's not that they're less safe. It's not that they're less healthy. So why is every single egg you've ever eaten a chicken egg? Or did one bird just get lucky a few thousand years ago, and you inherited the whole menu without ever asking why? Start with what is actually in your hand. The egg from the store isn't a paused animal. A hen lays whether or not a rooster ever comes near her. Her body runs the whole operation on daylight and hormones, pushing out an egg roughly every day on a schedule that has nothing to do with making babies. Almost every egg in almost every supermarket on Earth is unfertilized, empty. A single cell that was never going anywhere, which makes Balut, that street food Western stomachs recoil at, a completely different object, and we'll get there. But hold a number first. A wild hen lays maybe 10 to 15 eggs a year. The bird your breakfast comes from lays around 300. 300. Keep that number, because it's the whole answer hiding in plain sight. And the strangest part isn't even the egg on your plate. It's the bird that used to fill these exact markets. Billions of them. Until we ate it clean off the planet. Hold that one too. Here's a game. I'm going to take one step at a time away from your breakfast, egg by egg, and at some exact point your stomach is going to turn. Watch for where it happens, because that line tells you everything. Quail eggs. Tiny, freckled, sold in tins across half of Asia. Nobody blinks. Same bird family, same little architecture, just shrunk down. So the second a culture already eats one bird's egg, a cousin's egg slides right in behind it. Duck eggs, same story. Bigger yolk, thicker shell, richer, but close enough that your brain files it under egg and moves on. Notice what's happening here. You're not judging the egg. You're measuring how far it sits from the one you grew up with. Now push further out. In the Philippines, in Vietnam, in Cambodia, one of the most loved street foods on Earth is balut, a duck egg that was fertilized, left to develop for 2 or 3 weeks, then boiled and eaten with the half-formed duckling still curled up inside. Millions of people eat it the way you'd grab a boiled egg on the way to work. And to a lot of people hearing that, one sentence is enough to turn the stomach. Paul Rozin, a psychologist who spent decades at the University of Pennsylvania studying that exact reaction, found something that should unsettle you. Disgust isn't a safety alarm. It's mostly learned. Hand a small child a cup of juice with a bug floating in it, and they'll often just drink it. The revulsion gets installed later by the people around them. It's not the egg that changed. Your childhood did. And if you think that's the strange edge of it, meet the monotremes, the tiny handful of mammals that lay eggs at all. A platypus is biologically a furry little animal that produces an egg. 2 of them actually, each about the size of a jelly bean, soft and leathery. Somebody online once called the platypus a walking omelet, and, unfairly, they are not wrong. So why has no one ever put one on toast? It isn't disgust. It isn't quite danger, though the males do carry venom. It's that you cannot build a breakfast around an animal that gives you 2 jelly beans a year and is sliding toward extinction while it does it. Scale was never on the table. Which brings back the bird I told you to hold. In the 1800s, passenger pigeons crossed North America in flocks so vast they blacked out the sky for hours at a time. Billions of birds. Their eggs were scooped off the nesting grounds by the wagon load and sold cheap in city markets, right beside the birds themselves. Cheap, endless, normal. Picture it from up in that flock. A shape appears at the tree line and never stops coming back, never full, never out of wagons, never done. We weren't the biggest thing under that sky. We were the thing that didn't stop. And within a few short decades of treating them as an unlimited grocery, the passenger pigeons were gone. And it wasn't only them. Off the coast of San Francisco, during the gold rush, crews raided the Farallon Islands for the eggs of common murres, as many as 500,000 in a single season, hauled back to feed hungry miners, until rival egg companies were shooting each other dead over the rocks in 1863. Those birds crashed from hundreds of thousands to almost none. That collapse, and a few others like it, pushed the United States to pass the Migratory Bird Treaty Act in 1918, a law that quietly made it a crime to take the eggs of nearly any wild bird. So that whole invisible aisle, robin eggs, hawk eggs, gull eggs, it isn't missing because anyone finds it gross. It's not off your menu because of taste. It's off your menu because the last time we treated wild eggs as free food, we emptied the sky inside one lifetime. And there was a last one. We'll get to her. So if it isn't taste, and it isn't safety, and it isn't some deep line drawn by biology, what actually chose the chicken? Go back to the number. 10 to 15 a year in the wild, 300 on a modern farm, all of it descended from one scruffy jungle fowl out of Southeast Asia. No other egg-laying animal on the planet comes close. Ducks top out near 150. The platypus gives you 2. Once a single bird could hand you an egg a day. Cheap, reliable, endless. There was no reason left to farm anything else. And everything else about the bird made it easy. It's small, it'll eat almost anything you throw at it, it grows up in a matter of months. The chicken didn't win your breakfast for being better. It won for being relentless. Now the honest objection, and it's a good one. You do eat other eggs. Salmon roe on a piece of sushi, orange pearls on a cracker, little fish eggs scattered over a rice bowl. Whole cuisines lean on them. Fair. Completely fair. But look at what fish eggs actually do on the plate. They garnish, they accent. They cost a fortune precisely because you can't turn a sturgeon into an egg machine. It takes years to make roe, and it does it once. And the other objection, the one half the comment section is already typing, it's just cheaper, obviously. Yes. Half right, but cheaper is the symptom, not the cause. It's cheaper because one animal got quietly engineered into the most productive egg factory in the history of food, and nothing else ever caught up. We can weigh every egg on Earth, and we can prove almost all of them are edible. We know a chicken egg isn't safer, isn't richer. A duck egg carries roughly 5 times the B12, and isn't, to anyone raised on it, more delicious than a dozen others. What we can't reach is the thing sitting inside you. That flinch at a half-formed duckling, or a spoon of frog spawn, or a fried grasshopper, you didn't choose it. It was pressed into you before you turned 3, in a narrow window psychologists call food neophobia, the fear of new food that slams shut in early childhood. And once it shuts, it almost never reopens. You can know the disgust is arbitrary. You still can't feel your way out of it. So here is where it lands. The last passenger pigeon had a name. Martha. She died in a cage at the Cincinnati Zoo on the 1st of September 1914. Old, alone, the final member of a species that had once darkened the sky over an entire continent. Nobody ate the last one. There was no one left to eat. A whole kind of egg, a whole kind of bird, gone inside a single human lifetime, not because we hated them, but because we could not stop reaching for the easy thing. That is the real reason your fridge holds one kind of egg and nothing else. Not because the chicken is the best. Because it's the one that could survive us. So tomorrow morning you'll crack one open without a thought. 10,000 kinds of egg on this planet, and your hand goes to the same one it always has. Not the safest. Not the richest. Not the one you'd pick if you were ever really choosing. Just the one your ancestors reached for first, along a border you never drew and have spent your whole life defending. You're not eating the best egg. You're eating the last one standing.